Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Advanced English. Greg and MD here. Nice to see you all.
Hello, hello.
So today's topic is all about politely declining an invitation. In other words, how do you say no when you either can't make that event or outing, or if you don't want to and you want to find a way out of it and say no? How do you do that in a nice way?
Yeah, that's a very, very helpful tool to have in your toolkit because, particularly as we get better at the language that we're learning, the more opportunities we have to do things.
It's true.
Right? And so we get more and more invitations to do things. And being able to politely decline protects your time while also ensuring that you keep the relationships that you have healthy.
Exactly. That's a really good point, right? We want to make sure that we keep the friends we have and not alienate them by always saying no.
Right.
Right. All right. So are we ready to jump into this
Yeah.
strategies?
What do we have?
All right. So the first thing is not to apologize, right? Just I want to preface it with that. There's no need. We did a lesson before on over apologizing and saying sorry. You don't need to be sorry, right? Okay, so that's one thing, right? We don't need to be sorry if we can't make something, right? If they're trying to invite us.
Yeah, and to be clear, this is something that happens a lot, or that we hear people say a lot, right? I'm sorry, I can't make that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that won't work for me, right? The I'm sorry part is what we're talking about. It's that apology that isn't actually necessary.
Yeah. So that's a good sort of, rule of thumb to have when you're going into these kinds of things, and keep the apologies for the times when you need to apologize. So with saying no, tell them that you have plans, right? Tell them that you could say something like, I would love to, but, right? If indeed if you do want to do that at some point. For example, if Greg is inviting me out to dinner and I really want to at some point, but I don't have the time, I already have plans, then I would say I would love to, but I can't do this Friday. Would next week work? Right? Giving them an alternative, for example.
Yeah, I would love to, but it's a very powerful phrase because it shows your interest.
Yeah.
But then clearly states that it's not an option, at least this time around.
Exactly. And you're not like completely, what's the word? Like you're not telling them that in the future.
Right, you're not completely rejecting it.
Exactly, that this wouldn't be a possibility for another time.
Yep.
So that's a good one. Don't feel pressure to give an elaborate explanation. Sometimes when people ask us something, or like to go out somewhere, and we can't do it or we don't want to do it, we feel badly, and then we try to come up with this long, elaborate explanation as to why we can't do it.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, I have a lot of laundry. I have to feed my dogs, and then I have a lot of homework to do, or I have a lot of business proposals to write. I don't know why you would write so many at one time, but you might. So there's no need to go into all this detail about why you can't do it.
Yeah, it's always good practice to keep things short and simple. The more excuses you give, the more it sounds like maybe you're not being honest, or that you have something to hide, right? People respect it when you keep it short. So just saying, I can't make that this time around, maybe next week, and not explaining why, that just helps keep the conversation on track. Yeah. And it prevents you from saying something that maybe you didn't want to say or don't feel comfortable saying, and it prevents them from probing more and trying to convince you to do whatever it is they invited you to do.
Right. Like it prevents them from talking you into it.
Yeah.
Right. Forcing you to change your mind or your plans, trying to be convincing, right? To talk you into something or talk you out of something,
yep.
right? So The other thing you can do is provide an alternative so that, let's say you are busy the next 2 weekends. You can say, if you want to spend time with this person, you can invite them to something or suggest an alternative. Let's say they want to play mini golf. You don't have time. So you say, I'm free on this date. Can we agree on that date? Are you free at that time?
Yeah, I love that. Basically a counter invitation. It's almost building on the first suggestion that you gave, which is, I'm sorry, or I'd love to, but, because this is proving by inviting them into something new at a different time, it really shows that you're genuine about wanting to spend time with them, wanting to do whatever it is they invited.
Exactly.
And maybe what they asked was not something you wanted to do, but you do want to spend time with them, right? This is an opportunity to present an alternative that you are more comfortable doing.
Yeah.
So again, what it reinforces is this relationship, this person is important to you, and that you would do something with them if the time were different or the activity were different. So by proposing it, you put something forward that you're comfortable doing, that you're excited about doing with them. So they're happy, you're happy. I love that as a strategy.
So it's a win-win.
Yeah, it's a win-win, definitely.
And the last thing is, be honest, right? If it's something where you just don't feel comfortable doing it, or you don't know how to do that type of activity, let's say they invite you for skiing and you don't know how to ski and you don't really feel like learning at that time because you have other stuff on your plate, then you can say, I don't know how to ski. At some point I'm thinking about learning, but thank you for the invitation. And then you can propose a counter invitation for another time.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing wrong with being upfront about something.
Yeah, the more honest people are with me, the more I actually like them. Even if they're presenting their honesty in the form of rejecting me.
Yeah.
Because it just shows that they speak their mind, that they have nothing to hide.
Yeah.
So I completely agree with that, right? By being upfront about a reason why you might not want to do something, it puts some closure on the conversation. It shows you're not trying to make up something.
Yeah.
And I think creates a much cleaner and crisper conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So try those out the next time you don't want to do something or you can't do something, and let us know how it goes. Figure out what the best strategy is for you based on the amount of invitations you get. You might be super popular and get a lot of invitations. And don't be afraid to say no. And Greg touched on it earlier about protecting your time.
Yeah.
Right? Because time is something that we can't get back. We can't buy more of. So, definitely don't feel the pressure to accept an invitation that you don't want to or you don't feel like doing at that time. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah, that's great. So thanks for joining us, and we look forward to having you in our next conversation about whatever it is we discuss.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Keep it right here on Advanced English, and we'll see you soon.